Welcome back to the Wooncast episode 5. We got a special guest in today, one I know you guys are going to enjoy quite a lot. So I want to welcome business owner, IFBB Pro, Josh Bridgman.
Thank you, man.
How's it going?
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on. It's going good. Life's good. Just trying to find my feet. I've only been here for 3 or 4 months, so I'm still trying to find my feet in Dubai, the madness of Dubai, but all is good, man. Thank you for having me.
That's good, man. Thanks for taking the time. I'm sure everyone's going to appreciate it. And before we get deep in, guys, I know a lot of you guys follow Josh already, but I'll put that in the description below. But I know you, Josh Bridgman, YouTube.
Yeah, type that in
Instagram.
everywhere. Yeah, you'll find me. Just Josh Bridgman.
Perfect. So make sure to drop him a follow and a like. He's got an exciting journey coming up this year, which I'm very excited to watch. So yeah, let's tell the people who is Josh.
God, who am I? I've been a lot of different people, I think, and they've been accumulating over the years. But now I would say, in order, IFBB Pro first. That's my, that's the goal. That's the one that's got me to where I am. That's the one thing that I obsess over more than anything. And then, of course, being IFBB Pro, I would say the I don't want to say influencer, but the influencer, the person, Josh Bridgman, online, YouTube, Instagram, started all of that before everything. In fact, I even started that before the bodybuilding. That was the reason why I started, was to be a fitness influencer before even bodybuilding. So I did that first, then bodybuilding. And then because of those two, business owner. So I have I call it an accessory brand. We do a few bits of clothing, but an accessory brand called 1MR, and of course like a coaching business as well.
So you got quite some nice products and stuff coming up.
Yes, always. That's the hard part. The hard part is to keep innovating, but I think we've done it pretty well so far. Some really unique pieces that you can probably only find here now. Some people might be copying them now. That's fine. I don't mind. I promise. No.
You're the OG, it's fine.
Yeah, that's what I call myself. No, but yeah, always constantly trying to innovate, constantly just trying to create. And the bit of the ethos is like, it's a bodybuilding brand. Like, it is bodybuilding, so we're trying to solve bodybuilder problems by a bodybuilder, right? So I'm hoping I've had all of the problems that I'm solving, and slowly but surely we're working on all of them. So yeah, lots to come.
And also what I liked about you, I've been following you quite some time. Like, you started, like you say, you started the YouTube and influencer thing first, and you sort of documented that whole journey of your life, to where you are now. I think that's pretty special,
Yeah, I just, I always, because I'm a big consumer products, consumer content, and I was a huge consumer before I started. So I kind of knew what I wanted as a consumer, and I wanted someone, because those are the people who I followed, Christian Guzman, Matt August, those OGs of the fitness industry. They'd documented for so long. You could go back to that episode 1 and be like, oh, they were literally a kid in their room. Yeah. And that's kind of where I drew my motivation. I thought, I want to be that kid in the room one day. So yeah, literally 10 years, almost to the day, I imagine. When I was at university, I started to pick up that camera and just thought, I'll just say whatever I think, try and keep it as honest as possible, keep my morals about me, and show the whole thing, ups and downs, swings and roundabouts, and just keep going with it.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. We just spoke about it now before we started. Like, everything with you is like real. And I think we live in the fitness industry is at a place now, I think, where people just want to show the highs, whether sometimes it's not even high. They just want to show that it's high. And I think what a lot of people appreciate from you is that you show the hard times. You showed where you came from, how you build it up. I think that's very special, and inspiring. A lot of people, more people need to be like that. But let's talk a little bit before we go deeper into your bodybuilding side. How's Dubai been?
It's been good, man. I'm pretty familiar with Dubai. So my dad lived here for 10 years. Ironically, he left just before I came. He left literally like 2 years ago. I was like, Dad, I'm going to move to Dubai. He's like, you bastard, you're leaving as I leave. He's been trying to get me to come out here for years. But I was so attached to the UK for so long. But as I grew, as I matured, as you like learn that, you know what, like so much of how you're going to be in the future is kind of who you're around. A lot is who you're around. So much of it is who you're around, the more I think about it. And everything else that's around you, the people, the lifestyle. And I knew that where I wanted to be, just where I was at that moment in the UK, or those moments in the UK, I wasn't going to get there with the people that are around me. You know, I was pretty beyond, if any of you guys have followed my journey a little bit, Joe Brighty and TM Zygles, we were like a three. We moved apart, and I just went to the gym on my own every day, and went to a gym where, okay, a few people said, hello, hi, Josh, you know, but like no real...
That closeness.
Yeah, no real closeness of anyone, no camaraderie, no...
People forcing you to level up.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of
exactly. People are like, oh, how's he doing that? Let's go have a chat. Like, let's figure it out. Like, it was almost roles reversed. I felt like a bit of a big fish in a smaller pond type of thing. And big fishes outgrow the pond, and I needed to feel like a little small fish again. And every time I've been here, talking to people, obviously like yourself, you know, so many people in the gym, and then of course on the bodybuilding level, you walk in and you've got Andrew Jackson there, and just things like that. It's like the level up was very clear that I needed to be somewhere different. And then you throw in the lifestyle, the taxes, and everything. Like it's a no-brainer to get here. So it's been really good. I think I've been more mentally on the go, more active, more hungry, motivated than in the last 4 years, in the last 4 months. So that could only be a good thing.
Yeah. I can relate with you literally 100%. So that's, I think, the biggest reason for me moving, like, you know, yes, it's a better life, but I don't think that's the first thing. I think the first thing was just, you want to be, you know, that saying, like, don't be the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
You literally just want to be around positive energy and people like really supporting you, but also forcing you to level up and just opening your mind.
Yeah.
That there's so much opportunity, you know, everything is possible.
No,
That's really put in the work.
And that's how everyone seems to think here. You start talking like that back home, and people go, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
Here they go, "Let's do bigger." You know, it's like a complete mindset shift.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what it's like where you come from, but call it like tall poppy syndrome, right? There's a beautiful field of level poppies. One grows up, and you look at it and you think, "I want to cut that." And that's kind of how the UK thinks. They see you growing a little bit taller than everyone else, and they think, we need to cut that poppy down. And there's no like, but here, everyone's like, we want a big, tall poppy field. You know, how's he tall? Let's get the other ones up there as well. So it's kind of like a complete mindset shift, which now that I live here, like feeling that every day is so different. So different.
Yeah, I love it. And what would you say is like I don't want to call it a negative, but a downfall for Dubai for you so far? Maybe because I know there's a lot of people looking at moving.
Yeah, downfalls. So definitely gets too hot. Definitely gets too hot. So consider if you're not someone who can move around, you've got to endure it. Although I guess you could switch it, right? You could just think of the summer here as maybe like winter back home. Or at least in the UK, winter back home is shit and dark and cold. So here it's just too hot. You can't go out. At least there's sunlight. I think while there's a lot of successful people here and a lot of motivating people here, I think sometimes people want something from you a little bit. I think you've got to be careful with some of the people that you kind of, there's always like a motive behind the conversation rather than like, hey, how you doing? Like, how are things? It's like, hey, how you doing? What do you do? It's kind of like there's a slight narrative change sometimes. What do you do? And kind of like, you know, how much, what have you got on your wrist? What do those car keys look like, type of thing. I'm like, rental car, and I got this free. So this doesn't go down well with some people. But you know what? Like, those are some of the negatives, but like, it's pretty easy to curate your circle. It's pretty easy to like let people in the circle that you want to be in. So I haven't been subject too much to that, to be honest, because I just let the right people in, and there's some really, really good people out here as well.
And I saw, Joe followed your footsteps.
Yeah. He tried to move out here once before, actually, and then he was like, he wasn't ready to come, so he went back to the UK again. But yeah, he's here now, and it is feels free. Good
to see him again, like more often and being around.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. It's really nice because it's a lot of new relationships here. But having an old relationship in the new place, it's nice. It's like kind of like we competed with each other in 2014, both natural, both, so he knows the journey, knows the come up, and now that we're both here, we both look at each other sometimes, we're like, shit.
And on the same road again.
And on the same road again, yeah.
Which we're going to touch on now. I think that's another good one we can actually touch on, is that you started your journey as a natural athlete.
Yes.
Before you just like went all in. And I think that's a big problem. Some people, especially the younger crew, they jump straight on. They want to see the results now. I want to get there now. Same with business. So what can you sort of like, if you can give them a few tips on like, maybe doing it the natural way and just finding your feet first, putting in the work, learning hard training before you look at.
I think it's so important. Those things for sure. Understanding that you are understanding the real aspect of training, getting the most out of all of those things first. Because if you do just obviously jump on the sauce, then of course you're going to grow, but you're going to like waste what you could potentially be doing, and you're using something that's going to basically harm you. So you might as well make the most of it. But more importantly, it's something that I've had as well. Obviously, with the coaching business, coach a lot of people, a lot of young up and coming people as well. I find that they've not lived it enough, they've not breathed it enough, and they want to potentially hormonally compromise themselves for the rest of their lives for 3 to 5 years of satisfaction when you've got an 80-year lifespan, hopefully more even. And I think that's a crazy decision to me. I think I'm pretty self-reflective, and it took me a long time to decide. I've competed since 18. I'm 31 now. I started at 25. I did 7 years natural. So I've still competed longer naturally than I have done assisted. And it took me all of that time of saying no, maybe. And then yes, but it took me a long time. And I'm so thankful for that long time, because the sport's hard. Any sport is hard, right? But not every sport fucks you up for life. Yeah. Go swim at a really high level for 10 years, go bike, go do everything, that's fine. Guess what happens? You get a bit tired and you want to stop, and then you stop. But here, it's like you go commit to something for 3 to 5 years, you think, I don't like it anymore, I'm not going to do it. Well, you've just used anabolic steroids for 5 years. Yeah. And you, to get back to where you were without, like, naturally, to get your correct hormonal regulation again, like, you might not. And you might have to inject yourself the rest of your life, which is not a problem for me. That's the bed that I've got to lie in. But for kids who are 18, they get to 23, and they're like, oh shit, I just feel rubbish. And you're 23 years old, and you think, I'm tired, I can't get my dick up anymore, I'm not horny, I've got no energy. It's like, wow. And you're 23, I'm like, wow, so young. You're not even, hopefully, you're not even a third of the way through your life yet, and you've now got to take something every day. Think about your holidays, think about traveling, think about, all of those things that you got to now account for, taking some TRT with you. Like, and that's something I've run into a little bit more recently. Is those younger people making those decisions. There's always caveats to that. There's always people who will stick to it and carry on for years and years. But I think there's more than just like learning the foundations and nutrition and making sure all that's on point. It's more like, do you love this shit? Are you ready to make a sacrifice? Not like a time sacrifice. Like, I'm going to say no to this meal because I've got to go train, for this meal out because I've got to go train, or I can't have that food, sure. But a health sacrifice, which is a little bit different than like not going out tonight because I've got to sleep early. That's a little bit different. You're actually sacrificing your health here. So I think that's important.
And I think an important part that you take out of that first part of the journey being natural, you can see if you really love it and you want to really go full in.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people, like you say, they start off by 23, they already have problems, and then they want to stop, and they're already like, just see if you really love this and if it's something that you really want to pursue and go after fully. And then, it's just, I think it's so important that people from the younger age, join the right coaches.
Yeah.
And there's so many good coaches out there. Like, people must just, do their research. People like you that always, share educational stuff. You can see it in the results. So that you can start that process the right way. You know, don't fall in the deep end and then you think it's the only way.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Yeah.
That so many people start up with me, and then the first 2-3 years have been so crazy. And then you're trying to, like, their mind is already on those like four years.
Yeah.
So now you tell someone, let's bring the PEDs down. You don't need so much. And then they're like, yeah, see, should I really bring it down?
Yeah.
Maybe I should go to another coach.
I know.
You know, when you're trying to help someone. So, yeah, it's important. But yeah, again, from you, started as a natural men's physique.
Men's physique.
How, I think I know this is one a lot of people are going to love hearing, like, because I think some people are a little bit, I don't want to say unrealistic, but it's good that you have high goals, but they put themselves under so much pressure that they want it now. And what I like about you is that fight just to get to the first phase, and that is the pro card. You know, it didn't just come like, yeah, it is great genetics, go.
Yeah, it didn't. I thought it would. I was the guy who thought it would. I was very proud to be natural. I probably could find some posts that I've made say I would never take steroids. I'm going to be a natural pro. And maybe back then it was potentially possible because they would reward pro cards for if you look like if you put on the muscle you could be a pro.
Yeah.
Then they'd give you the card. I don't agree with that, but like I was fine with it because I could have maybe done it. And then they kind of changed the criteria to be like, no, you got to be pro standard. I said, all right, that's fair enough. Don't know if I can do that. It's pretty difficult. You know, it took many, many years off. I took like 2-3 years off at a time to try and get big enough naturally, and it was very, very clear that it wasn't going to happen. So 25 I started, and it took me, I honestly thought I was going to do one cycle and that'd be it. I'm pro, easy. And maybe if you've won that genetic lottery, it works like that for you. But 99.9% of you listening, it's just not going to happen like that. So I had to deal with just that pressure that first year, and obviously with the social media stuff, a lot of people putting the pressure on me to win it that first year.
Yeah.
And I got crushed. I'm kind of glad I got crushed because it was like the reality check I needed. That this is no miracle drug. Drugs don't work unless you do as well, right? Right, sure. Some of the studies might say you gain some muscle sat on the sofa, but no one else is sat on the sofa. Everyone else is working hard. So you gotta put in that work. And I was putting in the work for sure, but it was like not like a 6-month work job. It was a few more years I had to do. So yeah, I competed that year, got smashed. Competed the next year with a really long off season. In fact, I think I got beat that year. Just trying to think of the timeline. Yeah, I didn't get my goal 2 years in a row.
Do you know sort of how many pro qualifiers you did or not?
So it'd be the first year I got just annihilated. I was like, this is just not a good idea to keep going. This is just compromising my health at this point. The second year, I did 2. One was Italy. And I was the only person in my class, so I was into overall, and I thought, here we go. And then I walked out. I was in the middle just by my name, and they just called my name, and they just moved me straight to the outside and didn't even look at. I was looking at the judges, not one person looked at me, and I was like, ah. So I was like, there was one the week after, so I tried it again. That was the British finals. That was where I came second to the guy who won the pro card. So I don't know if I would have won it if I'd beaten him, because he went into the overall. But I was, like I said, I feel like I'm pretty realistic. So I kind of saw his physique and I saw I said, I look better. He's way bigger. And I was probably not going to beat him. And I started to look at the other shows and I was like, I'm not that level. I'm not that level. So I cut it short again. So that'd be 3. And then took a bit longer off because I competed quite early. So I took a little bit longer off to really come back, quote unquote, undeniable. That's what people like to say these days. That's how I felt. And that was the first time I looked at myself. I was like, this is happening. I know this is going to happen for sure. Like I know. I could see. I could always put myself in a lineup and kind of figure out where I was going to be. And those first years, as much as I wanted to win, I just shouldn't. I shouldn't have. Which obviously I didn't. But this year, that year, I think it was 2019. Like I knew it was going to happen. So yeah, like, 3 years of using PEDs, 3 years of chasing after a goal before you could get it. Felt like the longest journey ever. And really, the 7 years before that, or the 6 years before that, that you were trying to get that. But it felt like a new journey because obviously I was assisted. But then I knew I was going to get it. So yeah, I did the Portugal show. I should have won. Didn't win. Portuguese guys won. Did the Amateur Olympia that you're going to in Alicante, and I won the whole thing. And I was like, okay, there we go. But
that's a big show to win, though.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I was very intimidated backstage because there was like 60 people, 60 men's physique guys. And I was like, I got to beat 57 of these because it's top 3, I think, in the overall they get a card. I was like, I'll beat 57 of these. That's pretty difficult. And I knew that I get my physique gets worse as I get closer to my bedtime. And I went on stage at 10 p.m. and I go to sleep at like 10. I was like, this is going to be so difficult. But fortunately I won that, and that feeling of all of those years just all rolled into that one moment.
It makes that moment more special, eh?
Incredible.
Than getting it the first time.
Just
and
makes
actually,
you thankful for it, yeah.
Not failing, but like falling down a few times.
Yeah.
And it teaches you a lot about yourself. And
that's it, it's just every failure is thickening of the armor, you know, and makes that reward even sweeter. You're almost, at least in those earlier shows, the closer to the pro card shows, I knew that they were serving a better purpose. The first one where I was pretty ignorant, and I was like, that didn't really serve me anything. That was just a big wake up call. Those new ones, I was like, this is going to make it better. This is going to make it better. And yeah, I'm still chasing that moment now. It's 2024 now, so it's been 4 years. I'm still chasing that moment now.
Yeah, I always tell people like they shouldn't see like the downfalls and I don't want to say negatives, but like you say, when you don't succeed as a negative in your life, because if you take those on with the right mindset, it just makes the end result even better.
Yeah.
Like mentally throughout the whole journey, you just get so much better. And then pro shows you did. I remember was it Toronto or the one before where you got top 5 or 6?
Yeah, Vancouver. I came second.
Vancouver.
I could have gone to Olympia. And also the guy that won, he signed up to it in that week, on the cutoff date, which was 10 days, I think. So if he didn't sign up, I would have been the charger. He came second that year in the Olympia, though, so I let him off. But yeah, I can believe that was my first ever pro show. So that like first feeling back for that when I thought I was going to win the pro card sort of like came back a little bit. I could feel the old me. I was like, oh shit, I'm second in a pro show. Like I could do this, and I thought I was going to do it the next show. No, I just got hammered again. Just got a reality check again. Yeah, second in Vancouver. Then I went to Tampa. Big. And I came 6th. I got first call out. So I felt like
even that is massive.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that year, if I'm honest. And then I did Texas, and I got 7th. That was still a first call out. They called out 7 in Texas. I was like, you know what? Like first call out was 3 shows. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I thought the potential was there to do it. Like I thought, this is the potential. I've got it. If I'm doing that, like give me another year, I can do it. And then I came back the following year. I did the British show first, and I'm someone I always weigh up the value of everything. So British show compared to a Tampa show compared to Vancouver, it's not strong. It's actually just not strong. So I should be winning this. I came 5th, and I was just like, this is terrible. What's happened? I've completely lost it. And then I did. I can't remember the show off the top of my head, but I did another show, and it was okay again. I think I got 3rd, and I was just like, all right, this is it. I haven't got it. I'm not on my schedule. I've got like a schedule in my head, and I'm like, I'm not on the schedule. Like I think, and this is probably pretty morbid of me, but like I think you've either got it or you don't, and I just don't think I had it in men's physique. And I know that I could have made it work maybe, but I just don't think I did. And I knew that when I threw some classic poses up, like they look real nice. And I know that if you take Brian Terry, best Miss Men's Physique Olympian from last year, and tell him to do a front double bicep, I think my front double bicep looks better than his.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, okay, I'm kind of adding up, and I thought this is it, and I'm done. So I just stopped. I was going to keep going, but I just stopped. I knew that I didn't have it, and Men's Physique was my first true love. Jeremy Buendia. That's kind of what got me into it. But yeah, I kind of grew out of love with the category towards the end of that, and I accepted that I probably don't have what it takes in Men's Physique, which is pretty hard at the time because I'd been chasing that Men's Physique for so long. I was so convinced I was going to get to the Olympia and do it, but I don't think I could have done it. So try Classic instead. Try the harder category instead.
Is it something like, okay, you said you loved Men's Physique first, it was your true love, but is Classic always something like you really would like to do?
Yeah, for sure. And especially towards those later years, more and more of my check-ins would get more Classic. My legs were always strong. I was like, I want to get out. And there's something about the Men's Physique category, for me at least, just irked me a little bit. They were the most arrogant out of all categories. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And when Aaron Banks, I don't even care, I'll call him out. Aaron Banks like won the Olympia, like from then on, it was who's got the biggest ego will walk on the stage like we're the kings. I'm like, you're wearing a pair of board shorts, like relax. You're hiding half your physique. And I didn't like the camaraderie that comes with Men's Physique. It was very show off, very just weird category from the people. But no other category has that. It's all civil, everyone's nice. There's no real they were literally like on Instagram Live to each other, cussing each other out like, I'm gonna fuck you up, bro. I'm like, bro, what's going on here? We're bodybuilding. That's not bodybuilding. So anyway, those little things were playing into my brain. I was like, I don't really want to represent this sport like that. I want to take it to the next level. And Classic was never really possible for me at the time, right? I just wasn't big enough. But as I started getting big enough, I thought, I appreciate it's just the next rung on the ladder. And where I was 5 rungs down, I couldn't even reach that one yet. So I had to work my way through it. And then once I got there, I was like, yeah, I can do this. So went full send into that for the last 14 months. I've been trying to get big enough.
And how's the shift been like mentally to sort of know, like, how did you feel like size-wise compared to where you were and where you need to go when you decided to make the decision? Like, did you know, like, I have a lot of work to do, or where was your mind at, like?
I knew I had a lot of work to do, for sure. I've always believed I wouldn't be doing this, I wouldn't be doing all the damage to myself if I didn't think I could do it. I just knew there was a lot to do. So I knew I couldn't compete year on year, so I took the year off. Spent a lot of time eating, a lot of time growing. I still think, like, I'm about to go into prep in about 5 weeks. I still think I'm probably a little bit off the size, but there's something about taking another year off that doesn't sit right. I couldn't do that mentally. I need to compete. I need to get in there. I need to see where I stand. I don't think it'll be too far off. When I say I'm far off, I'm talking about top 5 Olympia. So, being a little bit lower down the ladder, I don't mind showing up for the first year. I knew there was a lot to go. There's a lot of uncertainty. Like, I don't really know how big I'm going to be. People say you look bigger when you're on stage. I'm also 6'1". Some of these guys are like 5'8". So I'm like, I don't know how that's going to look. I've never been as big, as lean as this. So I'm very intrigued to see, but there's a lot of unknowns. So there's a lot of bit of anxiety, a bit of excitement about it. Just kind of feeling like I'm back down to level 1 again. I need to work my way back up, but that's exciting for me.
It is. I think also, like, it's important to, it's almost like it is basically like a debut again because it's in Classic.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to get that feedback and to see where you stand next to others so that you know the way forward also.
Yeah,
then just I do think taking a year and a half off is important to make that change like you did. But I do think then it's like standing there, like I said. Because also when you stand at this show now, the lineup can change how you look. Then you stand next week, same package, different show, the lineup changes how you look. So I think, doing that, seeing where you're at, you might be like massive on stage though. You might not feel massive now, but on stage might be like a wow factor. You never know. Yeah. And like I said, get that feedback from the judges so that you guys know where to go from there and what to do.
That's what I think it needed. It made the most sense. and I got to be significantly bigger than the last time I got lean. So that's enough for me to say, all right.
What was your weight the last time?
So I wasn't peeled. I was lean, but I wasn't. I did the prep in 10 weeks. I hammered it, and I don't recommend doing that. So I could have been leaner, but I was about 104, 103.
That's a good weight.
Yeah. I probably could have sucked down to get like my glutes went in, for example. I probably could have sucked down another couple kilos, another 4 or 5 pounds, but I'm hoping I'll be around 106-ish, 107-ish. My weight cap's 110, so
yeah, that's.
so I should still have like a good 4 or 5 kilos of muscle on top of what I got now to. If I could be 111, 112, and then like suck in to get into 110, weigh in, and then be like 113 on stage, that'd be like the goal.
Yeah.
So I still got some room. I still got a lot of room. So I know that I'm probably not going to be there because people are pushing that cap. C-Bum, for example, pushing that cap.
And what's your peak off-season weight now?
So I'm 125 now. 125 now.
Pretty lean.
Yeah, I'm not fat. I'm really not fat. I'm pretty happy with it. So I took 2 chunks of off-season. The first chunk, I was a little bit more aggressive. I got to about 124. But much more out of shape than now. And I took about 6 weeks to trim a load of body fat off. And then this second push, I've just been a little bit more conservative and just done like half a kilo a week or so. I've done kilos a week. I've done 2 kilos a week. I've been hammered into like, to crank up everything before, but this has been pretty meticulous. Just consistently half a kilo a week. And now we're on week 18. So it's been another 9 kilos from 117. So
Yes.
So 125, and I'm pretty lean. Like I don't like the body fat hasn't changed too much. Kind of changed my philosophy a little bit on those off seasons. I mean, I used to crank it, both in prep and not, just crank it hard, get it done, smash it. Loads of food, loads of drugs, loads of everything. But this meticulous approach, like it's a lot leaner, a lot leaner. So I'm intrigued to see how much I got to take off.
And like your off season's approach now of being like leaner, especially now the second part. Did you like just take the food up a lot slower and not like just go?
Yeah.
What changed like a lot for you?
Yeah.
Not being too aggressive on the food like
Yeah.
in the past.
I think in the past, like if food wasn't going up, it feels like off season was wrong. So it was like 100 calories every week, 200 calories every week. This one was like so many weeks of just holding it. So many weeks. Like I'm about 4,600 calories now, which is pretty hefty, but it's not like unheard of. Or 125 kilos, 6'1". That's not crazy high, because I'm sure you've got people that you coach or maybe yourself, but I've got natural guys at 5,000 calories. So it's not like a crazy amount, but I was at 4,000 calories for 5 weeks. Because I was achieving the rate of gain that I needed to, and I will say to my clients, and I obviously know myself, that no changes is always a good thing. Because it means you're achieving what you're set out to achieve. So just holding things a little bit more, and I probably would have pushed it if it was me. I probably would have pushed things. Obviously, had John Jewett as my coach, so it's been pretty eye opening. He said, "You don't need it. You just look better, look fuller, look this." I'm like, "Yeah, you're all right, but I could do with just and again, you start comparing yourself to everyone else, and you're like, everyone else he's eating more food than me. He's putting on weight quicker than me. But I think it will really come into fruition when I start to lose, and I realize I haven't got legs to lose. And it'll be pretty straightforward, I think.
And also keeping your body, like in the past when you used to start, okay, obviously I haven't started now prep yet, but let's say you've pushed body fat quite high or highish in the off season for you. When you start that prep phase, do you like get a bit of a slow response in the start normally? Or
yes, exactly. Always takes a while. Like I've been 125 before, but 3 years ago. So 3 years less muscle, 6 blasts less muscle. Like it's probably 8-9 kilos less muscle and still 125 kilos. And I had to, dig deeper. The end look is affected so much because you've got to be on a much bigger deficit, probably lose some muscle because the deficit is so big. Even with the drugs, you're still going to lose muscle if you're, like I was doing, remember that prep was like hour cardio every single day, 12,000 steps every day, 1,800 calories. And I'm 6'1", 120 kilos. Like it was savage. but you obviously you get it done. But towards the end, you think, where's my legs going? Where's the fullness going? Where's the pop going? Whereas this time, if I've got to lose, that was probably 40 pounds plus. I used to lose every single prep, 45 pounds. I think the bodybuilding industry's changed a little bit now. People do the prep before the prep now, so people don't have to do it as much. But yeah, back then, 45 pounds, 50 pounds, we'll do that 16 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever. It doesn't matter how many weeks you'll get it off. And it just affects so many things. You're inflamed. You're in such a big deficit, you can't get full. It's hard to wash the fatigue off.
And you definitely lose muscle.
You lose muscle. You lose muscle, which affects everything. And then you lose your strength. As hard as the last prep was for 10 weeks, because it was just 10 weeks, I was pretty fine after it. I didn't really, I wasn't lean enough, but I didn't lose a load of strength. I lost a tiny bit. So then when you think, if you can do a prep where you don't lose any strength, have a little maintenance phase where you bring your food up and then get a bit stronger, you're starting an off-season blast at where you were strong last time.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past where you've got to lose, I've lost 45, 50 pounds, and I've lost 20, 30, 40 kilos off lifts, and you've got to spend 8 weeks trying to get back to where you were first. It's like a uphill battle.
I think this is a big one for people to hear from you that's actually experiencing it and you are at pro level. Because I think a lot of people, they let go a bit too much in the off season. And then it really makes that prep hard.
It does.
And like I said, it affects the end look. And you don't want that. And then when you moved, this last since you moved to classic, obviously you started training slightly differently with legs and stuff, but what changed a lot for you, regarding stuff, the whole process that you do regarding dieting? Like you say, wanted to push food up when you didn't have to, so you kept it down. Drugs, training, what changed for you? Did it change quite a lot, or was it sort of in the same direction still?
80% the same, because I think a lot of people know how to train really, really hard. A lot of people know how to eat. You got to progress that over time. A lot of people know how to take drugs now, right? Pretty much everyone uses the same stack design these days. I think a few of the things that are different were, I never really changed my training too much. I've been with JP, trained by JP, Jordan Peters, who was 2 sets and everything, get stronger. Then I was with Cal, which was very, very similar with smarter programming. But it was very much there's your sets, progress. This one's been a lot more, just opened my eyes a little bit to
extra detail.
Yeah, the extra detail. If you can do more there, why don't you? If you can do 5 sets on your biceps and you still progress, why don't you? Yeah. And the argument for me against that, what I got told was always but you'll get more progress if you're doing 3 sets. I'm but I don't. And I'm doing 2 whole sets. It's thousands of kilos of extra volume going through that muscle. So it's kind of been not to say that I do 5 sets on things, but the principle of if you can do more on something, why don't you? And then even more specifically, if you can do more something on those things that you need to improve the most, why don't you?
Yeah.
So for me, I needed a lot more on my arms. I needed a lot more on my back. My chest was always pretty strong. So my chest volume, pretty much stayed the same. But my arm volume was right, we started 2 sets, let's get to 3. You're still progressing, still feeling good. All right, let's try 4. Okay, right, can't quite do 4 on all of your arms, but let's take that one to 5. We'll put this one to 4.
Yeah.
And then it was try and find the red line and just sit just below it. And just questioning what that final rep does. People say 10 out of 10 failure, go to failure. Closer you can get to failure, the more muscle stimulus you get, or more hypertrophy stimulus you're going to get. That's for sure. But how much is that final rep giving you? The one where you are and just blood pressure and one of your nosebleeds and how much was that rep worth versus what it takes away from the next set? Because I remember doing sets on that leg press where I would scream on my 7th rep, and I'm going, and I rack it, and I'm going, and I'm absolutely fucked.
Whole session.
And then, and then you have to go do another set, and I'm so mentally fatigued from that one rep, and because I went that hard last time, it's only going to be just as hard this time. So, just like taking it back like one notch, made such a difference. Made such a difference, even just like being like cognitively there for the whole session. Like I quite often found in previous off seasons that towards the end of the sessions, I'm just like, all right, let's just finish this because I'm so wrecked from those big sets. Whereas now I'm pretty like focused the whole way through. Another thing as well, and like you said about people kind of relax a little bit in the off season. This is the first time I probably haven't done that as much, and everything just got hit every day like it should do, like on a prep almost. It's been extreme because it's like 52 weeks a year. Okay, I had to go a week off here and there and went on some holidays here and there, but like between that, it's every single day, every single week, every meal at the same time, hydration, all that type of stuff. I think that's why I'm leaner, bigger, fitter than ever. Do my cardio, high rep sets don't hurt. Don't feel like my lungs are bleeding, all those types of things. I think it's just taking it to the next level.
Starting the prep in a much better place.
Yeah,
I definitely think that's the way. Like you have to do it that way if you aim big, if you really want to go big, and there's no like off switch though. Like you say, a week here and there where you deload and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people, they have big goals, but they take too much chill time in the off season. So they must really just get the work done. And then show-wise for you, want to chat a little bit more about
for sure.
The dope debut. Classic.
And I'm so nervous for it, honestly. The hardest part's going to be just the posing, because I've just done that. Like I've just done that and that for like 8 years. Now I've actually got to lift my arms up and think about my feet.
I'm sure you're going to have fun now, though.
Yeah.
All the posing.
I've been working really hard, so I feel like I can do the mandatories. Now I just want to hit the flow. Have the flow, exactly, so I will start prep first week of May. So this is another thing that'll be a little bit different. Rather than just like how much body fat can you get off every week, it's probably going to be more like we're going to stick to 1% of body fat every week, which is pretty robotic. Based off that, like I'm probably around between 18 and 20% body fat, maybe even less if I'm lucky. So 1% a week. We've gauged it for 18 weeks, but like based off what I think my body fat is, I think 14 weeks I should be pretty peeled, and that would be that first show. That's the one I'm probably going to put my elbow in John's back and be like, let's do this one. We can do 1.25% this week, right? Like, and just like catch up another % after a month. And he's like, all right. Okay. So I'll probably do that, which would be Tupelo Pro, which is Mississippi, the 17th of August, which is 14 weeks after May 1st. And then there'll be the Florida Pro, and then there's a Texas Pro.
Nice.
So we'll see.
The gap between is it like a week, 2 weeks gap?
Yeah,
between?
2 weeks and then a week.
Okay.
Depending how those go, there are a few more, but that's a good start. That's a good start, and I'll see what's happening, see what the judges say, and if they're like, you need more size here and there, all right, cool, I can go get it, but we'll see.
I'm excited to see it. I think you guys done an incredible job this off season. Like,
appreciate that.
The size is crazy in the gym when you walk around. And it's massive.
I appreciate it.
So, it's going to be good. And then you say you're going to go prep in Canada again.
Yes.
What do you feel when you were there the last time as well? Like, is the biggest reason for that just because it puts your mind in like obviously the heat here, but it puts your mind in like a good working space to get the prep done?
Yeah, I think... if you treat that prep like a job and you think about it logically, where is the place that you can make the physique look the best? I think anywhere in the world you can control your food, your diet, and your training, which is ultimately going to be what gets you lean. The other thing there is like stress, mental health, little things like that take the thing to the next step. I think being locked in a room here and going from my air-conditioned apartment to my air-conditioned car to my air-conditioned gym, doing all my steps on a treadmill, or waking up at 6 a.m. and dripping sweat.
Yeah,
anyway,
it can be.
it would probably send me a bit wild. I'm a country boy. I'm from a small town, tiny little town. I walk outside. There's woods there. There's forest over here. Like I need that. That's kind of where I feel at peace the most. So being able to be outside, obviously the heat coming down, being in a better place for the people that will live with me. So my girlfriend and my videographer who comes around everywhere with me, just having him a little bit more accessible, having them happier as well, like them locked in a room as well. Like
it makes the whole space better for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about just creating the most peaceful space possible. It doesn't cost me any extra financially other than just the flight there. So realistically speaking, I don't know why I wouldn't do that. Also would love to experience more of the world with this job. So, being over that side of the world, having access to that side of the world. Got some good friends there. I smoke a load of weed and it's legal over there. So
so I can bet it helps you a lot in prep as well. Just to keep the...
Yeah, bro, I've been a stoner for 10 years. This is the longest I've been sober in 10 years. 4 months.
Shit.
Before that, it was like 2 weeks because I came here to see my dad for 2 weeks. I didn't smoke.
And how's your stress and anxiety and stuff like that been without it?
It's all right. Fine? It's all right. I think when you can't get it, you can, but I don't because it's not worth the risk here. The jail time, by the way, if anyone watching, is just stupid, and they'll just kick me out, and I'll lose my tax residency, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk that. Yeah. Honestly, like the first month was pretty hard. It was pretty hard. I had a real physical addiction to it, so kind of like woke me up a little bit to that. I'm talking like stoner guys. Like I'm talking like all day, every day. That's like who I am, born and bred, for the last 10 years. So yeah, it was all right. It was all right. The first month was pretty hard. The sleep, appetite, things like that were really difficult. But now I'm fine. Doesn't really notice. I just put it out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, and just look forward to that first joint when I get over
there. I can imagine. And yeah, you're going to be there. So you're planning on being there till after your shows and then come back to Dubai?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing the shows and then it's the Olympia. Not that I'll qualify. If I did, that'd be great. If not, it could be CBum's last time. So I was like, while I'm over that side of the world, I'll be like a 2.5 hour flight from Vegas. So I was like, I'd be very, very tempted to fly over to Vegas and watch CBum compete for the last time.
Imagine the last.
That's what I mean. It's like, we're over there. Like I've never been to an Olympia. Could be his last time. Just to see him on stage one time, it'd be worth it. So that's like the 11th or something of October. Then we'll come back here after.
When the weather is super nice again.
Yeah, exactly.
They're actually making it rain quite often now. Looks like they're trying to change things a bit, make it a bit better.
Yeah, they just need to fix the drainage.
Yeah.
they need to put a plug in.
Yeah. And yeah, going to the Olympia, it might be a good... I think it will really, like, let's say you don't qualify this year, just say it, and that seeing it and getting that feeling of being there, like, I need to be here. It will just get you that extra hunger step up.
I love the idea of visualization. Definitely use that many, many times in bodybuilding and business. Doing something stupid. I remember buying my first business class flight and thinking, I can't afford this. This is stupid, but I need to just feel what it's like to be able to take that next step.
Yeah.
Much like shows, going to my first qualifier just to watch them. I need to feel that feeling of someone winning. So yeah, I agree. It'd be amazing to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a good year. And before we wrap it up, we probably got a few more minutes left. Any advice that you can give, like, because I know there's a lot of people, they look up to how you've built it, and I think you give a lot of them hope that it's achievable, with the direction you're going at. is there any tips, advice you can give to people, like either whether it's starting a business, starting an influence to become an influencer on social media, being popular, bodybuilding, starting as an amateur? What is like the biggest stakes? Because I think all of those go hand on hand.
Yeah.
Sort of the same things.
I would say, number one, I'll be cliche, consistency. You do have to show up. You have to show up when it doesn't feel good. You have to show up when no one's expecting you to. You have to show up when you don't want to. You have to show up. And it goes for anything. The best result you can ever get is stringing together as many days in a row as possible. You know, even a low output day, whether that be business, whether that be bodybuilding, is still adding onto your pile.
Yeah.
So showing up is one of the biggest things, and also one of the hardest things. I think people take it for granted. Oh yeah, just show up. Yeah, cool. But I mean, really show up. I mean, don't just show up and
for your Instagram self.
Exactly.
Go back.
Exactly. So that's one of the biggest things. Business and influencing, like trying to be real true to yourself. I think it's so easy to lose yourself, and like you were saying about trying to show in the highs and showing the lows, doesn't mean you need to show all those things. It just means you need to those things need to be real. And when you start showing things that aren't real and you get a response from it and it's positive, or like likes and follows and comments, you think, I might just be like that again. And then you start to go, and you kind of just trend further and further away from your true self to this point where you are a persona on the internet, and you are only like that on the internet, and then it's quite hard to keep that going. I've known that for a few people that I've known. So trying to be as close to yourself as possible, trying to be real, I think that's really, really important. I think people's bullshit radar these days is pretty good. People know when you're lying, when you're amplifying yourself, and I think people really respect just being real, being honest, saying it how it is. And even from things like I notice a lot, I'm always trying to improve my business side of things. I've talked to business mentors over all of the years, and like 5 years ago, it was very like, I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this for you. And now it's like, I got what you need here. It's just like whether you're ready to make that choice. So it's even like the sense of way they're selling to you is more like just trying to be real.
Yeah.
So I think realness, consistency, those are two real important things.
And at the end of the day, if you being real and open, I think makes you unique, the brand that you build around yourself.
Exactly.
And with so many influencers out there now, and I think it's important to sort of stand out with something else.
Yeah.
And just being you. Yeah. So awesome stuff, man. Thanks for taking the time.
No worries.
Like I said, guys, I'll put all these links in the description. So if you don't follow him yet, I'm sure that's only like 2% of you. But follow his journey, show him some love. It's going to be a good year. Like I said, I'm very excited for it because I've seen your journey coming up. So it's going to be good, man.
Thank you, man.
And hopefully we have you on here for after your first pro win.
Yeah,
again.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
We'll do it again. Thanks, guys. Subscribe, show some love. And yeah, comment below what you guys want to see, who you want to see next time. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.